Hello, I am Advocate Garima Tuggar and I welcome everybody on the another session of Nitesh Mehra and Associates Law Offices. Today we have with us Mr. Nitesh Mehra himself present on the board. Mr. Nitesh Mehra is a practicing advocate at Delhi High Court as well as in Supreme Court from the last 11 years. And now he has his own office at Delhi from the last 5 years. Today, Sir himself will be speaking about the most current topic of the nation, that is coronavirus, which is also known as COVID-19, puzzled word with the unseen enemy. There has been a lot which has been said about this topic, and now we will understand from the sir what is this topic all about and how to deal with it. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Garima. Thanks a lot for this lovely introduction. The topic is yes, is of very importance, not only for one person, but yes, for the entire nation. What is this topic all about has to be understood in its true sense. There is a unseen enemy which has entered our universe, and after entering into our universe, it has also entered into our houses. And after entering into the houses, it has now entered into our bodies. So now we have to understand how to deal with this, how to fight with this, and how to go about this. Now, this has to be understood that now there has to be a pattern which has to be followed, that how to fight with this COVID 19, which is a unseen enemy of the entire world. So, to understand this, we have prepared a small PPT which I'll be sharing with all of you. So here is the PPT. Let us understand what it is all about. So the first slide which we have prepared shows women standing and seeing what has been happening starting from the start. The challenge has been given to us, then the ideas come, then the problems are coming, then the crisis, the taxes, the competition, the lobbies has been there on the western side of countries, and how to finish it. So what we have to understand in this topic is that what are the major mistakes which we have committed to deal with the present situation and how to go about it further. So in December 2019, the genesis of coronavirus came into this world, which was formerly obscure COVID named as SARS-CoV-2, which was found in Wuhan, Hubei area of China. It was sequenced and disconnected by January 2020. SARS-CoV-2 is related to continuous episodes of abnormal pneumonia coronavirus 2019 that has influenced more than 2,11,807 individuals and slotted more than such number of those influenced in 210 nations as of April 16, 2020. Now the numbers have been drastically changed. We are into May 2021. Earlier, what it was said that it is a beads transmission, contact transmission, airborne transmission. Coronavirus gives fever, dry hack, chest torment, weakness. More uncommon indications incorporate migraine, dizziness, stomach torment, loose bowel sickness, and regretness. Testing with RT-PCR, immune response testing, and isolate social separating contact following are the lean remedies to decrease the weight. Each case of coronavirus is unique. Past standard and the particular form of protocols which we were following in the first wave are not there in the second wave. So, with the time, this virus is also changing, and therefore, the doctors, the medical associations, and the World Health Organization has been changing the protocol one after the other to fight with this deadliest COVID 19 virus. So let us understand about this unseen enemy. COVID 19 affects different people in different ways. Most infected people will develop mild to moderate illness and recover without hospitalization. Most common symptoms fever, dry cough, tiredness. Less common symptoms aches and pain, sore throat, diarrhea, conjunctivitis, headaches. Loss of taste or smell or a red skin or a discoloration of fingers or toes. Now we have to understand from the studies which has come up that in the second wave the virus has changed its nature, and now the we have seen the aches and pains, throats, diarrhea, vomiting. All those have also now become the symptoms of the coronavirus that is in the second wave. So what has been said by time and again by WHO, IMA, and other medical associations is given below. Those are very common things to maintain your hygiene, clean your hands, wear a mask, and that mask has to be proper layered. And now in the second wave of coronavirus, it has been said that to save yourself, you have to wear double mask. First, the surgical mask, then you can wear any cloth mask to save yourself. So, what has been the latest development on 25th of May 2021? India's tally of COVID 19 cases stand approximately 2 crores 70 lakhs. India on 24th May 2021 recorded less than 2 lakhs daily cases for the first time since 19th April 2021. With 3,511 deaths, India's death toll due to the virus stands to 3,07,231 as of the date when the data was collected by us. Meanwhile, the 2 crore 40 lakh 54,861 people have recuperated from the disease. Active number of COVID cases of India was 25 lakh 86,782 till the time the data was collected. So now what has been happening that we have been procuring these data one after the other. Several people had died due to COVID-19 caused because of lack of hospital beds, oxygens or ICUs. But as per the expert, the death rate due to the second wave may have been peaked. Why the experts are saying so? Because after the first wave, the vaccine of coronavirus was developed. It was given to a particular age group of above 60. So what we have seen during the peak of second wave that most of those who were not either vaccinated or in the age group of less than 60 had got succumbed to this disease, and there has been a lot of deaths. So what the mistakes we are doing that has made this fight of coronavirus more worse. There has been a usual warnings during the earlier times when those traveling to China, it prohibited passage of nationals going to China to India through different nations and affirmed a few coronavirus cases by January 31. So there have been very few cases by January 31, 2020. But as and when after the first wave gone, we have given the liberty for the international flights, people again started going to here and there, and the public authorities rummaged to deal with it worldwide air travelers when they were for the intent and purpose. The only source of contaminants of coronavirus in the nation was the check differentiation to its reaction to the home ground people. So, how the second wave came? It came through people who has came flight from the other countries came back to India, and one after the other it got spread, and it got spread into numerous numbers. So what has happened during this second wave, what all shortcomings there have been there, we have to understand there have been shortage of the oxygens, there have been shortage of the beds, there have been shortage of the supply of medicines. So all these things were in short numbers, but however with the intervention of the courts at regular interval, there have been different rates or PILs have been followed by different organizations at different courts all over India. Then the situation under hand came to on the control when the courts of all over India take on hand the government one after the other that it is their primary duty to safeguard the life of the people. So another drawback, or we say that where we lack was the shortage of testing kits and delay in domestic production. So we have to understand the population of India. That's more than 130 crores as of today. So when you have population of such a mass value, then you need to see that the testing is done at every level, be that at village, taluka, district, or a state, city. Everywhere the testing has to be done. It has to be done in the same level as the disease has to be controlled like any other pandemic. So you have to do it like a polio drops or like the other uh, uh, medicines or the vaccinations which has been done by the India in the past. So, according to the ICMR guidelines, domestic testing kits issued on March 23 included an inexplicable condition that required domestic testing kit to be approved by appropriate authorities. Now, the appropriate authorities have almost approved and their mass production is on the verge. Soon they will be out, and the people should not themselves take a back in testing themselves. Rather, they should come forward to test themselves so that we can see the number of cases are there. So lack of transparency and false statistics. So, who is held accountable for the current oxygen shortage? That was the question which came before the different high courts and even before the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court taken note of the matter suo moto, and it was stated that whatever state and whichever state is giving their supply numbers, the metric tons of oxygen to be supplied to that state accordingly. So, in the row, Delhi was first of them where the oxygen was needed 700 metric ton, and it was only 300 metric ton which was there in the city. So all of us, the hospitals or the authorities should have prepared well in advance for the second wave, for which they were not prepared. So the moment this bomb got blasted for the second wave, all of the hospitals or the authorities ceased to be helpless, and there was no answer with any one of them that how to deal with it. Then the centers moved to supply the oxygens through a oxygen train, was somehow came to the rescue of the people who were suffering from COVID-19 and lack of oxygen. So, at the host of institution, election commission, CBI, ED bureaucrats, the media helped to amplify the government's false narratives. Another major mistake during our COVID war was the very major part of media portrayed the government to be the working way above what is required. Another bad incident which we have seen was the floating of bodies in river Ganga. So no one came forward with the responsibility and answer that who was responsible for the same. Rather, there being the blame game between the authorities of UP, Bihar, that it flowed from there, it came from there, and both blamed each other for this inhuman incident. This shows a big lack of responsibility among the states, rather to fix the responsibility who did this and how it had happened. So now the government's attitude. A example of 19-year-old school dropout, 30-year-old e-rickshaw driver, 61-year-old maker of wood farms. There are among 25 arrested by Delhi police in the middle of raging pandemic for allegedly pasting posters with comments critical of Prime Minister Narendra Modi regarding the COVID vaccination drive. The poster just asked why the vaccinations are being exported. So basically, in this country, we cannot even express our problems from the government. The arrest of these persons who have been struggling to get food and money during the time of this pandemic makes us think that they were really allowed to criticize the government or not, or whether they were, there shows that there is an infringement of right to protest, right to speech, and right to expression. So all these which have been granted by the constitution had been seen or not while arresting those persons. When in the April second wave of COVID was gaining pace, Tika Utsav was initiated so that more and more people are vaccinated. We know that event or Utsav failed miserably due to lack of stocks. The fact that this event was being called as world's biggest vaccination program is a joke in itself when the vaccination was not there with the country. So vaccination till mid-May. Here is the statistics which we have seen. So India is on the most lowest number of vaccination. So if we go by the statistics, we got to know that even by the year end of 2022, only our 70% of the population will get vaccinated if the vaccination would come in the same pace as it is coming like today. The governments didn't spend a single money on the vaccines prior to the second wave when other countries were constantly spending on more and more research. But the vaccines were being monitored and handled and distributed by the government as if they had been responsible for their production. The situation of oxygen cylinders of our country is also mystery, but no, not to other. So the lessons which we have learned. So the lessons which we have learned from the this whole situation is that we have to deal with this problem diligently. So it is not one day this problem will come to the end. So the session which we have to see is that the growing number of lockdowns will hurt the economic activity also. If we go on and doing the lockdowns one after the other, the economy will be shutting down. There shall be a catastrophic repeat of what we saw last year is unlikely unless there is a national lockdown on the same very severity. The lockdown index of the Oxford University shows that the current restrictions in India are nowhere as stringent as the national lockdown imposed last year. Maintaining a good hygiene is crucial. So, our Delhi High Court has time and again now repeated that the uh, announcements and the advertisements with regard to the COVID helpline phone numbers should be importantly done like any other hum do hamare do which was done in the past by the government. They have directed the center as well as state to forgot their tussle in between and to look after the well-being of people. The reaffirmation of importance of hand washing is one of the biggest takeaways of COVID-19 crisis. So even at every corner, as they put in the dustbins and the other things, there should have been the hand sanitizers which should be installed at different places where you see that the mass people are gathering, be that maybe the entrance of the metro stations or the other places. The places which are going to open soon, they should have taps, they should have soaps lying there so that people can wash their hands again and again. From the very beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak, the one measure which our world knows as an effective preventive measure for this highly contagious disease was washing hands continuously, and that too in a manner which was prescribed by the WHO. So the testing is the major key to control this disease. So if we have like a testing of all the masses in Delhi, we say, or we say in India all over the states, then only we'll get to know that how many cases are actually active and those need to be treated right away. Young people spread the most, suffer the least. So the curve should be on the young people. A suggestion which came to my mind with regard to the vaccination is like they have to go with the voting pattern. How they go with the voting pattern, every political party has a data of each state, each taluka, each district, that how many people are there. So once a vaccination is done, then thereafter they should check with the data which is coming on their CoWIN portal, where the person is getting registered that that person has vaccinated on this day. They would be having the data that how many people are there which have got vaccination done, and those who have not done according to their data, then the government should send the persons at their home and ask them to go for get vaccination done. And later in the part with the more stringent laws, anybody in the car, anybody moving alone, that person should be asked to show in the CoWIN app or uh, their proof to show that they have got vaccinated. If that person fails to show, and if that person not got vaccinated, then government shall impose some fine on that person, that why you are roaming even when the vaccination is available and you have not got done the vaccination. So there have to be some stringent rules with regard to the vaccination so that nobody may left undone with this vaccination. So this vaccination part has been focused, forced, and has to be adopted as soon as possible so that the upcoming third wave of coronavirus may not be so deadliest, which we have seen in the part of the second part of coronavirus. So, Garima, if any questions are there, you can take up those.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session. So, after going through all this, various questions have even arised. So, here is my first question. So, as we all know, the third wave is coming and knocking our door. So, how to deal with it?
Can you be little slow and repeat the question? Repeat the question, please.
Okay, we all know that third wave is coming.
I cannot. Yes, say now.
So, as we all know that the third wave of coronavirus is knocking the door. So, how to deal with it?
See, as I have said just in the concluding part, the two important factors which has to be kept into consideration is one, the vaccination policy of India has to be fastened and has to be in pace as with regard to the other Western countries. And we have to make some stringent rules with regard to those who are not getting vaccinated. So the more and more the masses get vaccination done, the more and more we will be getting prepared for the third wave. Another thing to get prepared for the third wave is to have more ventilator beds, more oxygen supply, and more such centers, COVID centers, to help those who are in dire need. So these preparations should be done beforehand. More and more of testing should be done so that we can avoid the situation which had arisen in the second. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Sir, are we really prepared for this third wave?
In a manner to say that whether we are prepared or not with regard to the third wave, it would only get to know when it will actually arise. So the wave only comes when we see that the testing is not been done properly, or the more infected people have been left alone to roam in the city and they get the infection passed on to others. So if the vaccination is done in the large numbers, then there would be less chances of getting infected from the virus. Then only we'll get to know that how many cases arise at that time after the lockdown gets lifted up from the different states, and when situation get normalized, then only we'll get to know that how much prepared we are. Stating it on the papers by the different government that they are prepared with regard to the pediatricians, they are prepared with regard to the children, all would going to be seen at the time when it actually arrives. So it's early to say that whether we are actually prepared or not, would get to know at the time when it would arise.
So vaccination policy is going on in India. So is the vaccination policy of India is sufficient for the second wave,
See,
like to fight with?
to curb the second wave, the peak of second wave have already went away. The vaccination shortfall is an admitted fact which has to be admitted by the state governments as well as the central government, that yes, their vaccination drive was a little slow. It has to be in the large numbers from the last uh, 4 or 5 months before the second wave when it has actually arisen. We have been little lazy in exporting the vaccines to the countries rather than spending more on the production of the vaccine at our home. We know that India is a country where all other countries look themselves as a business, themselves as an opportunity. But at the same time, India should have also made them clear that they need to give this much of vaccines to India if they come to India for their production. But as stated by the government recently 2 days back, that there won't be more than 2 crore doses of Covaxin which would be available in the December 2021. But that too a long time which has to become. So whether in this period when there is a shortage of vaccine, whether we are actually ready to fight with the third wave or not is a real question and is a real task to be answered by the persons who are responsible for it.
And so I have one more question. So what is your opinion with regarding to black marketing and hoarding of essentials to fight with COVID-19?
See, in India, the people have a mindset. The moment the demand is more, let them curb the supply. So they see themselves at that moment also the opportunistic to have more profit out of these essentials. Even a small chemist, he or that the druggist, they start stocking these medicines as it has been prescribed by the IMS. The remdesivir injection, now the muciculus drug injection, which is there. In that also hoarding is there. With regard to the black fungus, there is hoarding. So we need to understand the situation at the deep root level, that who are these persons who get import these medicines, who are the stockists who get the license to deal with the distribution of these drugs. So once we curb them, so then only we'll get to know that how much and where the quantities have been supplied. The moment it get down from the airport, at that time only the customs check should be there. So having taken this Navneet Kalra case in the recent of Delhi, or having the other so many cases all around the India with regard to the hoarding of oxygen cylinders, oxygen concentrators, or having these drugs in the large numbers, or if we say Fabiflu distribution by one of the politicians of India, all those goes to say that the stocks were very much there, but it has been hoarded. So on this, I would like to say that Indian government has to bring in some strict and stringent laws, as the laws which are there to deal with this pandemic situation are still those old laws which were there earlier times. So there has to be need in the change of laws according to the present situation which we have seen, and nobody should be allowed to hoard these essentials. And these essentials like to be brought in the category of essential commodities act, so that there can be no hoarding of these. And if somebody does it, then that person's license, the material, and this punishment should be well prescribed.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Garima, for assisting me in the present session. We would like to have such more sessions with you. It was a very great session, and we are looking forward for more sessions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.